learning about money, investing, business at an early age can really address so many problems that we have, whether it's how to deal with inflation or housing unaffordability, right? It's not housing affordability, it's the opposite of.
One of the big things that's been happening, we've seen SpaceX, now Chevron, these big U.S. companies are choosing to relocate from California to Texas. What are some of the factors that are causing this?
Money, if you don't treat it wisely, it's going to leave you. And it flows and it goes, just how gravity attracts water. Treating money well, treating entrepreneurs well, having business-friendly regulations, reducing the friction, to use Jeff Bezos' terms. The reason why Amazon is so successful, it's because they are focusing on reducing friction for the customer. So think about it. I'm a customer as well as a shareholder, full disclosure, but no one's ever made it so easy to buy things, and many of them I don't even really need. A lot of the policy is short-sighted. I was talking to one of the attorneys that we work with, and this is during a lunch break, and he told me, he goes, Vijay, lawyers like to shake money loose. If there's a lot of money in a tree somewhere, we're all going to come around, we're going to shake it loose one way or another. And it's not a coincidence that regulators are trained as attorneys. The regulators, mostly trained as attorneys, many of which, maybe not all, certainly a lot of them are not trained as engineers, but when they see a company just killing it in a good way, just making bank, just providing something that's so valuable to society that we can't get enough and we can't live without it. Well, once they see that broad financial trend, they're going to figure out a way to get in between, to shake some money loose, to basically get a piece of that pie. And what that does is that it makes it more expensive and more difficult for more people to get pie if they're not regulators or attorneys, if they're just consumers like you and I.
Now, that makes sense. And now I know we have this big Texas stock exchange that is looking like it might go through. That's another piece to this puzzle, right?
I am very excited about that. I think that that is the piece to the puzzle that people are really underestimating. And I think that they're going to regret that they're underestimating it. Well, we already talked about how money's going to flow where it's treated better. And if you make it difficult in New York, just like how you're making it difficult in California to increase energy production, in New York, you're making it difficult to list your company. And to our listeners and to our viewers, what that means, that's a liquidity event. That is a reward to the entrepreneurs and the employees and the investors, all of which took a risk, in some cases with their money, and in many cases with their time. In many cases, they risked their livelihoods to help build and create something. And by listing their company, it allows them a financial reward. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to sell out. Most of the time, they will only sell a small portion of their shares. And that's the beautiful thing about markets. But when you start telling them, the company that's already proven how successful it is, the companies that have already proven that they have a value proposition to the customer, and you start telling them that I want this person on the board and this person's got to look like that person, but that person looks just like that person, so they're not allowed, and we need this color and this type of private part. That's not business, that's politics, and politics is not profitable. It certainly was not the founding fathers' intention for politics, and I think that's been lost today.